Yay, morning. Not good at mornings. Really bad at them, actually. Yesterday there was that shooting at that school. All the news outlets immediately aligned on one side or the other. They didn't even waste time. They immediately went for, well, the left went for guns, right? Bad guns. Guns are bad. That's their line. The right went for, we don't have enough police, etc., etc. They wasted no time. Yeah, it's not either of those. How about instead of aligning on party lines with each crisis, we recognize the root of the problem? If there were more police, do you really think that would have stopped it? Did the gun do the shooting, or did the shooter do the shooting? Because the shooter is the shooter. The gun's just the tool that he used. How about this? How about we have a society problem? Our society is garbage. It is decayed and decadent. How about we start asking the real questions to figure out why these things are happening? Maybe then we can get to the real root of the problem. Wouldn't you say? Isn't that what you do to solve a problem? You go after the root of the problem, the original cause of it. In order to solve this problem, we need to find out what is causing it. Well, it's people. So if we have a society problem, we need to figure out why. In a situation like this, when you can't even send your kids to school without worrying about whether or not they're going to get shot, do we even have a society? Do we have a civilized society? It's worth asking, because I would argue that we don't. We are not civilized at this point. You're not safe anywhere. So if civilization is breaking down, what caused that? You think that more laws that half of the country don't agree with instituting are going to fix the problem? It's just going to create more division. You think more police, more people operating for the government are going to fix the problem? Again, that's part of the problem. So making laws that exacerbate the problem don't fix the problem. What we've been doing isn't working. So why would we do more of it? More gun control, more police. We fight amongst ourselves and tell each other what we think is right, and it sows more hate and division. And they never let a crisis go to waste. They'll jump right on it every single time. Probably not the right direction to go in, would you say? Because if what we're doing isn't working, why do we want to keep going down this path? And I haven't read any more news on it. I don't know if they found a motive or not. And the thing about motives, we want to ask why. Why did he do it? Well, I'm sure he has a reason. Like they always have a reason. Some crazy ideology, some manifesto that'll tell us why he thought this was what he needed to do. It's all a bunch of bullshit. He did it. There's no justification for killing innocent people. It just isn't. It's always wrong. So it doesn't matter why. The bare facts as they stand is that he walked into a school and killed 14 kids. How could somebody do this? Like I said, decadent and decayed society. We're now capable of this as a society as a whole. So are we civilized? No. And you think it's bad now? It can get, and it will get, a whole lot worse. Because once you take the constraints off of bad behavior like this, people's justifications for said behavior will rise. They'll become ever more important to each individual. And the extremes will come to the surface, so it will get worse. One of the best ways to start attacking this kind of problem, this kind of rot in society and decay in society, you have repercussions for criminal activity, but you have fewer laws. This person violated the most basic standard law. Don't murder innocent women and children. We don't need a new law to say that this was illegal. This was already illegal, and it's one of the basic tenets of law. Pretty easy to fix. So if the problem is a sick society, one that is broken, one whose morals have decayed to the point of almost non-existence. A society that does not recognize honor and goodness, and one who doesn't care what goodness is and is constantly trying to redefine goodness. What do? Because that is a breeding ground for malevolence, for evil. When your society is a breeding ground for evil, these are the kinds of things that happen. So what do? Well, a civilized society has laws. And when you break these laws, you pay a price. Now that price is the deterrent, keeps people from breaking the law. You say, we have laws. Yeah, we have laws. We have a lot of laws. You know what? We have too many laws. So perhaps, instead of more police, we have fewer laws. The war on drugs has filled our prisons and jails for years and has cluttered the court system to the point where people plead guilty to get out of jail. I'm not lying. I've seen it for myself on so many occasions I could not even begin to count them. We lost. It's over. You can't wage a war on drugs. Drugs will not go away because drugs are yet another symptom of a sick society. That's why the drug epidemic is getting worse. That's why fentanyl sells, because our society is rotten. If we get rid of the laws that are causing this huge influx of people to be introduced into the criminal justice system, you'll have more police, a lot more. If you want to get high, overdose on drugs, and go die in a ditch somewhere, you think I care? Why should we have a law that prevents people from doing that? As far as I'm concerned, you just took out the trash. Congratulations. And thank you. No more government subsidies, no more social welfare for drugs, and then legalize everything and let nature take its course. And then we'll have police freed up to do a lot more. And that's just one example. I could cite many, but nobody wants to have that conversation. Everybody wants to blame what they see as the immediate threat and don't realize this problem has been growing for decades. In a country that has too many laws, we use those laws. Our government uses those laws to get power, to retain power, to exert power over people, over companies, okay? So getting rid of laws not only gets you more police, it gets you fewer cases in court. A less cluttered court system frees up manpower to deal with bad guys, real bad guys, not drug addicts, okay? And that gives you more police while it frees up the court system. It also lets you institute the actual punishments for the crimes that criminals commit. Whereas right now, we don't do that. This entire country is weak on crime. What you get is a cluttered court system with backdated trials. And then the next thing you know, they're just trying to get the docket clear. So they're offering criminals to take guilty pleas to get out of jail instead of serving the time that they should. So you get a lot of probations, you get a lot of paroles, you get a lot of revolving door recidivism because the crimes aren't properly punished. We start taking laws off the books. We will start clearing court dockets, and then we can talk about getting tough on real crime. And what does that do? That's that deterrent. That's why you have punishments and consequences for people that commit crime. Instead of giving them probation over and over and over, you get tough on crime because crime has consequences. That's how you build a society. You reward good behavior, punish bad behavior. That's a basic tenet of society and civilization building. This is a big part of what is wrong with our civilization. What's it gonna be? Been constantly hearing, do something. Okay. Do what? More laws? More laws that we can't enforce or that we choose to selectively enforce? We're just instituting more laws and they want to cry, do something. Okay, let's do something. Let's start abolishing laws and get down to what's really important. Real criminal activity, and start punishing it. It's a big step towards curing a sick society. Do something? Stop asking the government to do anything, because you and I know that idea that I just touted will never happen. And why is that? Government likes laws. It gives them power they can exert. And we all know they don't sacrifice power for nothing. You want to know why our society's sick? Look at the government. Everything leads back to that. Do you trust the government to be the only ones with the guns? Really? If you do, you are more naive than I could ever imagine. And you need to grow up.